right, let's talk some Torah. It's been a little while, right? Parshas Shemais is this week. We're beginning the book of Exodus, which also means that we are beginning. We started earlier this week a season that we call shovavim, which is 6 weeks of repentance and spiritual rectifications. The history, and that's an acronym for Shmos, Va'era, Bo, Beshalach, Yisro, and Mishpatim. And on a leap year, it's Shovavim Tat, which includes to those 6 2 more weeks, Teruma and Tetzaveh. In Judaism, a leap year, unlike the solar leap year, which adds a day, because the solar year is really a little bit more than a quarter of a day. So they add a day every, over the 365 days. It's like 365 and a quarter days. A little bit different, a little bit less, I think, actually, and that's why every 100 years it's not a leap year, or something like maybe every 1,000 years, I don't remember. But anyway, that's on the solar calendar, the Gregorian calendar. On the Jewish calendar, which is a mix of a lunar and solar calendar, meaning it's a lunar calendar that's modified by the solar calendar, unlike the Islamic calendar that's totally lunar. And therefore the months of the Islamic liturgical year can take place in any season. The Jewish calendar year is it's adjusted according to the seasons in the northern hemisphere. That in the northern hemisphere, Passover should be in the spring. That's the main issue, because the Torah says in Parshas Bo. So we'll get to that in a few weeks, and we'll talk about that more in a couple of weeks. That's where the Jewish calendar is established in the 12th chapter of Exodus. But here we have the beginning of Exodus, and really throughout these weeks we have this period of spiritual rectification, which classically was a time of fasting. Although if you get into the history of it, and the earliest mentions of this practice, it's basically only really originally was only when it was a leap year, Shovavim Tat, and then it became later that all the days of Shovavim would be recognized every year. Those 6 weeks of Shovavim, the first 6 weeks, would be every year, and Shovavim Tat, the extra 2 weeks, would only be on the leap year, as far as fasting and saying slichas and things like that. And it predates Lurianic Kabbalah, especially as far as on the leap year of Shovavim Tat, but the Lurianic Kabbalists really ran with it, and it became, a major practice, to the point where in some circles people would fast every day during these 6 weeks, and in other circles, I'm not going to make it. Oops. And in other circles, they would fast only 1 day a week, maybe Thursday, maybe Friday. Some people would fast 2 days a week, Monday and Thursday. And like I said, some people would fast all 6 days, Sunday through Friday, eating only at night and on the Sabbath. And so the Sfarim Kedoshim explain that this was connected to what we're reading in the Torah. that we're reading about the Exodus, and the Exodus was for the purpose of the rectification of the original sin. And to the point where, and not only the original sin, but the subsequent sins of Adam, and during Adam's self-imposed exile between the birth of Cain and Abel and the birth of Seth, he spent, according to some opinions, spent a lot of time in Egypt. And so therefore, that's why this was the place that needed to be rectified, because, and this is the place where the rectification would take place, is because that was where Adam was during those years when he begot hybrid offspring that were hybrid extraterrestrial offspring, demonic, if you want to use a more religious type of term, or in the Middle Eastern tradition, we would say they were the jinn, and hybrids between the humans and the jinn, or demons, or extraterrestrials, or however you want to express them. I don't mean necessarily they're coming from another planet, but just that they are non-human entities that Adam produced offspring with, that were hybrid offspring. And for this reason, that's why the focus of this time in history, of this calendar time, is with those issues. Thank you for watching. God bless you. Like, share, subscribe.